Hey everyone, hope you're doing well and staying safe. In this video, I am going to be continuing on with this project. We're going to be implementing the authentication stack. So let's get started. I'm just going to go to where I have my project. As you can see, this is where we left off with the splash screen and everything like that. And we have our git commands and all that good stuff. So to start off, what we need to do is first install packages for this, because I'm using SQLite to store the data, and then I'm using async to temporarily use for the data. So as a result, I'm going to be using those two packages, and then I'm going to be using authstack, so we need the navigation installed as well. So to begin, I'm just going to install these packages. The first one is going to be, actually first I have to go into my project, so I'll do cd my workout app 2, into my workout app, make sure I'm in the right folder, and yep, everything matches. So now I'm going to begin by doing npm install, and this be at react-navigation /native-save. The next one I'm going to be doing is npm install at react-navigation /stack space --save. I'm going to be doing npm install react-native-reanimated --save. Then I'm going to be doing npm install react-native-gesture-handler space --save. Next, I'm going to be doing npm install react-native-screens --save. Next, I'm going to be doing npm install react-native-safe-area-context space --save. And my last one is, or for this batch, is going to be npm install at react-native-community /masked-view space --save. Now for the two storage packages, I'm going to do npm install react-native-sqlite-storage space --save. And then my last one is npm install at react-native-community /async-storage space --save. So once this is done, we are ready to start with the JavaScript files that we need. So in my source folder here, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this authstack. Inside my authstack, I'm going to have two files. The first one is going to be login.js. The second one is going to be signup.js. So in my login, I'm going to So first and foremost, I'm going to import the React, the basic React stuff that we need. So import React, and then I'm going to also import some other things as well. So say use effect, use state, and use context. We'll be using context in another video, but I'll keep it in nonetheless. I'm going to say from React, and then I'm going to input the basic stuff that we need for interactivity. So I'm going to say import text, button, view, safe, area, view, style sheet, image. I'm going to do text input, scroll view, touchable opacity, keyboard avoiding view, and then keyboard. And then it's going to be from React Native. So now that I have this taken care of, I am going to import the linear gradient because of the screen. So I'll say import linear gradient from, and then it's going to be React Native linear gradient. We already had this installed in a previous video. Then I'm going to do the database. So I'm going to say import open database from, and this is going to be react-native-sqlite-storage. Then I'm going to import our logo, and our logo is imported from our assets folder. So I'm going to do 2 dots to go to the parent folder, and / from. Let's try this again. And we'll do assets, images, then we just called this splash_image.png if that's what you named it. Otherwise, just whatever's inside your images folder, make sure you grab this and import it. So from here, we're going to begin by just get the basics down and do const login is equal to open close parentheses, because this is a arrow function. So once we get that done, then what we want to do is return, and in this case let's put text login.js. And then I'm just going to put this down here because we need to export default what we have created. So I'll say export default, then the name of our function. And then from here, I'm going to put my style sheet. So I'll say const styles, lowercase, is equal to style sheet.create. And let's put this here for right now. So that's good to go. So now if we run this, all you do is do react-native run-android. Yeah, so do this. So as you can see, it loads our splash screen just fine, but I want to have it load our login screen. So from here I'm going to say import login from, and do my authstack login. Then I'm going to just say login here instead of that. So then if I refresh this, it should give me login.js. So now that I have my login screen, I'm going to begin implementing everything we're going to implement. To start off, I'm going to say I'm going to create the database. So I'm going to say let db equals open database, and then I'm going to give this a name. going to be users.db. So that creates the database. Now I am going to, inside of my login screen, make sure the database is set up and ready to go. So say use effect, say arrow function here, and then I'm going to say db dot, let me get some space first. So db dot transaction is a function. I'm going to say transaction inside of my function. Now I'm going to say, so I'm going to say let SQL statement equal, and then I'm going to use the tilde key, so the key that's next to 1, and then which allows for multiple line text. So I'm going to say select name from SQLite_master, where type is equal to, and then using 2 single quotes, say table, and name is equal to, again 2 more single quotes, users_table, and excuse me. So then I'll just do this. So select name from SQLite_master, where type is equal to table, and name is equal to users_table. So then inside of my transaction, I'm going to put transaction.execute SQL, and instead of having to type all this out, I'll just say SQL statement, and then I'm not passing any parameters in, so it's just going to be an empty array. And then I'm going to have within here a second function. So say function transaction results, and because this is a function, it needs an open close braces. I'll say console.log. Inside of here, I'm going to put item. So it's actually in this case, we'll just put user. And then I'm going to say results dot rows dot length, because this is going to be the user that we retrieve from our table. And then I'm going to say if results dot rows dot length is equal to 0, meaning if there is no return result, then I have to create the table, right? So first I'm going to say transaction dot execute SQL. I'll do drop table if exists, and then this is the name of my table. It's my users_table. You can call it what you want, but that's just what I want. And then it's going to be an empty array because I'm not passing in any variables. So once that table is dropped, if it exists, then I'm going to create a new one. So transaction.execute SQL. Inside here, I'm going to do the tilde key again, so I can do multiple line strings. I'm going to say create table if not exists. Then I'm going to create the name of the table, which is users_table. The same one here. The same one here. Right, do open close parentheses. So inside here, I'm going to say I'm going to have 6 different things. So I'm going to say user ID, which is an integer, not null primary key, auto increment. Make sure you put a comma. The next one is going to be user_name. Var char, and then I'm going to have the maximum be 20, make sure it's not null. Then I want the user_password, var char 20 not null. then I want to have first underscore name var char 20 not null, and then the last underscore name var char 20 not null, and then I want to have a user token because we are going to generate user tokens for each individual user created. So I have user token var char. In this case, because it's a user token, I want to have a quote-unquote encrypted token for each individual user. So I'm going to have a 64 var char and say not null. And that's it. So I can just close this up, put a comma after the end tilde, and then after this I'm going to put open closed brackets. Then I'm going to put a semicolon after here, and then a semicolon after here, and then we put a semicolon here, and after this end curly brace I'm going to put an open closed brackets because I'm not passing in anything for this transaction. I'm going to close that and return it. Then I'm going to have a function set up, so when I access this, I want to see if the user inputted the name and password, username and user password properly. If they did, then I want to move on to the next stage. So I have a function to set that up, but before I do this function, I first want to create the variables that we're going to be using for the text input. So I'm going to say lit input user name, and then set input user name is equal to use state, and then I'm going to use an empty array, or empty string rather. Then I'm going to press Ctrl or Alt Shift and press the down arrow. It gives me a copy of the line which my cursor is on. And for this, I'm going to say input. Okay, so it put me in Russian. Thank you. So I'm going to say input password, and then set. Actually, you know what? Instead of doing this, sorry, another secret. So I'm just going to highlight this, press Control D. So now that I have both these things highlighted, it's going to, instead of having to type all this out, I'll just say input password. So I have my username, input password, and they're both using the state. So that's another tidbit to use. So I have that taken care of. Now I'm going to go back down to my area here. I'm going to say let, and then we call this user search. So I'm going to search the database for this thing, for these username and password. So it's going to be an arrow function. And for this arrow function, I'm going to say db.transaction. Then inside of here, I'll put tx because that's what I'm passing in for this function. And I'll say select star from name of my table. In this case, it's users underscore table, where user underscore name is equal to a question mark, and user underscore password is equal to question mark. Have a comma at the end. I apologize. So in here I have to do tx.execute SQL. I skipped ahead. My apologies. Okay, so once we have that, then I'm going to pass in two parameters. The first one is going to be input username, and the second one is going to be input password, because I'm passing in the username which we're setting when we type it into our login screen, as well as the password that we typed in. And then from here, it's going to go look inside our user table to see if we have a username that meets that criteria and a password that meets that criteria. following this, I'm going to have a callback function. So txn and results. Inside here, I'm going to say let length is equal to results.rows.length, and say if the length is greater than 0. I like to have some spacing to make it look nice. I would say let result equal to results.rows.item of 0, so just the first result. And then I'm going to console.log for right now, saying success log, or user password found. So we're going to change this later on. May as well make a comment here later on for signing into Homestuck. But for right now, it's just going to be a console log. So if it's successful, hoorah. Otherwise, I'm going to put an alert, and I'm going to say fail to login. So once this is done, we have our function set up now to go and search the user database to see if this works. If not, it's going to fail. And for this reason, now we can actually implement for our screen the main input stuff. So I'm going to have in my return function, I'm going to get rid of the text, don't longer leave that, say safe area view. And so for this, I'm going to, excuse me, inside of here, I'm going to have my linear gradient. So linear gradient, and my linear gradient takes 2 for the colors. You can put in what you want because this is a gradient. It needs at least 2 colors as it takes in for the array. So I'll say purple as my first color, and then dark blue as my second one. Then just close it off like so. And so inside of my linear gradient, I'm going to have scroll view. I'm going to say keyboard should persist taps, and I'm going to say handled for this. That's it for right now. And then I'm going to have inside of here a keyboard avoiding view where the behavior is equal to padding. That will be it for right now. Then inside of here, I'm going to have inside of here, I'm going to have, let me just make this a little bit more nice. So I'm going to have a view, and this is going to hold the main, the image and the login stuff. So I'll have an image here, and inside my image, I'll have a source is equal to the logo. I think I capitalized it. Yeah, it's logo. So this is the logo, and then the image is a self-enclosed component, so you don't need to have anything with that. It gives this some space, and then I'm going to have a view here, and this is going to be for the username. So I'm going to say input text input. My apologies, text input. And then for here, I'm going to, this is a self-enclosed tag, so you can just self-enclose it. And then for here, I'm going to say, on change text is equal to brace open close braces, parentheses, and say input username. Then it's an arrow to set input username, passed in the input username. Then I'm going to do underline color Android. Then this is a hex value. In my case, I'm just doing white, so it's $1234566 capital Fs. Then I have placeholder, and this is going to just simply say enter username. Then the placeholder text color is going to be white. The on submit editing is going to equal keyboard dot dismiss. So when you press the enter button, it just will make the keyboard go down. I do not want to capitalize this. I'll say auto capitalize is equal to none. And then the blur on submit is equal to false. So once this is done, we're going to create another view. Inside this view, I'm going to have another text input. And this time, it's going to be for the password. So I'll say, I'll leave a space for the style because we're not ready for that yet. Do on change text is equal to, then we pass in the input password. Arrow function is set input password to the input password. Then it's the same thing. Underline color Android is equal to $1234556 capital Fs because it's white. Placeholder is equal to enter password. Then you are going to have placeholder text color is equal to, and this is going to be white. The keyboard type is equal to default. Then the on submit editing is equal to keyboard dot dismiss. Blur on submit is equal to false. And then I want to, because this is the password we need a secure text entry, and I'll set that to true. So it'll show up as dots instead of the characters. So if we take a look at this, you can see that we have our username, password, and then we have this right here. So now that we have that done, next what we need is the login button and the button to navigate to the sign up. So I'm going to put a view here. Inside this view, there's going to be a button. Pretty much a button, and then inside this button, actually, there's not going to be any text. So what we need is the title, and that's going to be login, but this is a string. Then we have the color, and in this case, it's going to be a purplish color, so it'll be $, 4, capital A, 4, D, capital E, 7, and then on press, we're going to use the earlier mentioned function that we created, user search. So when we press this button, it's going to see if it finds the user. If it does, then it'll console log success. Otherwise, it will give an alert saying that we have not found the user. And for this, I'm just going to make it a little bit more nice. So yeah. So then after this button, and after this view, I'm going to have one more view, and this is going to be to sign up in case we don't have a user. So in this case, I'm going to make this a touchable opacity. Inside the touchable opacity, I'm going to have text, and then I'm going to have then for right now, until I get the navigation set up, it's going to be it's going to say don't have an account, tap here. So if you go back here, go all the way down, it says don't have an account, tap here. You tap here, nothing happens, of course. And that is that. So now that we have the basics done, now that we have the basics done, all we really need to do now is make this look beautiful and then do the sign up. So first let me implement the style so we can make this a little bit more clean and tidy. So I say main body, colon, open close braces, make sure you have a comma after the brace, say flex colon 1, align self is center. Then you want to have the background color to be black. The height is going to be 100%, and then the width is going to be 100%. Then the main body is going to go towards the view at the top, the safe area view. So we're going to put style is equal to styles dot main body. As you can see, that really didn't change anything, of course, but now that we have a main body, next what we need to do is have one for the linear gradient. So let's say main container, open close braces, make sure you have a comma because we're going to add more stuff. So align self is going to be center. Then we have a border radius of 5, we have margin top of 0, then margin left of 0, and margin right of 0. Then we want padding top to be 0, and do height is equal to 100%, and then width is also going to be 100%. Then take this, and we're going to go to the linear gradient. So under here, put style is equal to styles dot main container. Yeah, so nothing's really changed a whole lot, but it will in the next one for sure. Next, I'm going to call this sub container because it's open close braces. Make sure you have the comma because there's going to be more. And margin top is going to be 70. You can change these numbers if you want, but for the sake of this demo, I'm keeping them as these numbers. The line self is going to be center. The height is going to be 500, and then the width is going to be 350. Then we have a background color, and it's going to be RGBA, so red, green, blue, and alpha, open close parentheses. So I'm going to have a 0 for the red, 0 for the green, 0 for the blue, and then 0.5 for the alpha. And then I am going to have a border radius of 20. So then we take this and we apply it to the view, which is our the view which holds the image. So style is equal to styles dot subcontainer. As you can see, we have this now. From here, we are going to now create something for the logo because it's way too big. So I'm going to just say logo style, colon, open close braces, make sure you add a comma because there's going to be more logos. And so for this, we're going to say width is equal to 100% because I want it to be 100% of the subcontainer, but for the height, I only want it to be 40%. And then I want to have it resized to be stretch. So if I take this logo style, go up here to my logo, I do style is equal to styles.logostyle. As you can see, now it looks just a little bit better. So the touchable opacity there. And next, I am going to create a sections style string so that each section can have its own styling. So we can call this sections styling. Then I'm going to do flex direction is row, height is 40, margin top is 70, 20, sorry. Then margin left is going to be 35. The margin right is going to be 35, and then margin bottom is going to be 10. This gives me some spacing between the left and the right and the top and the bottom, so I can so it gives it it just makes it look a bit more pretty. You can change these how you want, but that's just what I found to be for this specific login screen. So for this, as I said, it's going to be for each section. So as you can see, I have two sections here, one for the username and one for the password. So in here, I'm going to say style is equal to styles dot section styling. And then I'm going to copy this right here, and I'm going to paste it for this section as well for the password. And as you can see, now it's indented just a little bit for this box, so it gives it a nice little, it catches the eye, and it's not too wide and ugly looking. So now that I have the section styling done, I now want to do the input text. So for here, I am going to call this input text style, so input text style. And for this, I'm going to give the color of white, because I want the text to be white. I want to have the padding left at 15, so the text, when it's inside of this, will be indented 15 to the left. And then from the left, and I'll have the same thing for the right too, so padding right will also be 15. So then I'll have a border width of 1, a border radius of 30, because I want this to look rounded. I'm going to have a border color of gold, because it matches the color scheme. And then the width I'm going to have as 100%, as well as the height to be 100%, and I need to put this in a string. So let me take this, go back to my text input, say style is equal to styles dot input text style. So if you come back here, you can see that I have a border radius of 30. The underline comes up here, and then the white is right here, so it kind of just brings your eye to the username. And I'm going to apply this to the text as well for the password. So as you can see, it just kind of catches your eye, brings it forward to here. And now I'm going to try and make this login button look a bit more pretty. So down here, I'm going to call this login button. For this, I'm going to have a margin top of 7%. I'm going to align self to be center. I'm going to have a width of 40%, because I don't want it to be too wide, but I don't want it to be too small. And then I'm going to have a border radius of 20. So then if I go back up here to where my button view is, right here, I'm going to say style is equal to styles dot login button. So if I save that, come back here, see how it's a little bit rounded at the corners here, and it's center, so it immediately catches your eye to log in if you want. And now for this next one, I'm going to do the, which is the last one, it's going to be the touchable opacity. So I'm going to make this look a bit more nice and pretty too. So for this, I'm going to call this the sign up view and the sign up text for the text within the opacity. So I'll say sign up sign up view, and then I'm going to say margin top is equal to 10%. The width is going to be 65%. The height is going to be 5%. The align self is going to be center. Border radius is going to be 10. Border color is going to be white. And then the border width is going to be 2. And I'm going to put the last one here as well, so I can just finish up this section. So this is going to be sign up text. And for this, I'm going to have a font size of 14, so it's a little bit big so people can read it. The color is going to be white, because I want to have the text be white, and the text line is going to be center. So now if I come up here, inside my view, I'm going to have this be style is equal to styles.signupView, and then for my text, I'm going to have this be style is equal to styles.signup text. So come back here. Now we have our username, password, login, and this. So if I tap on here, it's not going to go anywhere. Tap on here, brings that up. Tap on here, brings that up. Login, failed to log in. I actually need to capitalize that. Where's that? Here it is. There we go. Login, failed to log in. I don't have an account. It's not going to do anything because my sign up is not available. So this is it for the login screen. Yeah, this is it for the login screen. If you so now if we go over to the sign up right here, I will be doing this in another video. So yeah, I'll be doing this in the second video because this one's running a bit long as is. Try to keep these things short for you guys. But before we end, I'm going to close this out. Gonna make sure this is closed. This is done. So now what I'm going to do is go to my git commands, and we are going to do version control for this. So I'm going to say git add star. I'm going to say git commit -m, and I'll say added login screen, and then I'm going to say git push --set -u origin master. So now it's updating what we have. So then if I go to the link right here, under the master, you'll see that the source was updated 31 seconds ago, and we have our main, which was updated. So if authstack login, and if you go to your authstack right here, we have login and sign up. So sign up is 0, and login we have it set like so. And that is it for right now. So yep, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a great day, or have a great time, guys. See you later.